Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One, coming to you on Tuesday, January the 25th. The year's 2022. Let's talk trading, problem solving, part 10. These videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine. Risk management. Never lose more than you're willing to lose on a particular trade. Okay, so today's problem solving has to do with your memory. If you had a bad day or you're having a bad day, you've got to put what happened out of your mind and focus on what's going on right now in front of you. You have to start with a clean slate each and every trade. Otherwise, you can hesitate, you can rush. There's so many things that dwelling upon something that's over, something that can't be changed, can do to you, and really affect your trading in a negative way. So if you're having a bad day or you had a bad day the day before, you have to come to your trading platform with basically a blank mind and a laser focus on your trading plan and on your trade execution according to that plan. You can't be thinking about, how much you lost, or, how the broker cheated you out of a trade, or, the price slipped, or a numerous things that can happen when you're trading that can be an irritant, can agitate you. You got to have thicker skin. You just really have to focus on the current trade. That's it. The current trade, not the next trade, and not the preceding trade, but the current trade. And sometimes it really is easier said than done. I'll admit it. So let's go ahead and take a look here and see what's going on. Well, the month for the pound is red. We are 31 pips below the open, 253 off the high and 65 off the low. For the week, we're red. We're 60 off the low, 69 off the high, and 52 pips below the open. And I think yesterday all the gaps had filled. Very interesting. We broke out of the opening range for the week, which was yesterday's low, but we're still in the opening range for the month here, and we're still in the opening range. You can see here we went out of the wick zone on the bottom, and we went out of the lower wick zone on the top side. We're right now into the candle body. 32 pips below the yearly open. Yesterday we broke out of the inside bar of the week, and there's that daily inside bar. And look what happened. We touched on that monthly inside bar low right there. Bring up the month chart so you can see what that looks like. Right there we touched it and bounced. So who knows, maybe it'll try and crack it, or maybe it's going to return. As far as inside bar trades go, very few at the moment. Range only 64 pips on the pound, and we've got 4 pairs over 100 pips so far today. And we've got about 5.5 hours left in the trading day. Buy zone's been very interesting, especially this past hour or so. Right here we had a couple of buy zone triggers, basically trading across the daily open. Would have been more profitable because you see here we had a big bar come up, outside bar, so price came back up almost to the midpoint and then reversed, so that would have been a strong indication. Take the weekly open cross. Red rats, it looks like it might be your time. The green rats have already feasted, so it looks like it's time for the red rats. You can see we tried to break through the 135.00, but it's failed the first 2 attempts. Maybe the third one will be a charm, so red rats, be careful. On the pivot, near the pivot was a short, and price had pulled back for a little bit. Let's see if we can show that here. So There were a couple of nice shorts right around the pivot for what I guess just a few pips, but hey, they add up. And looking at the pivots, we took out today's pivot. We haven't taken out the week's pivot, and we haven't taken out the month's pivot. On the wick zones, you can see here, we've been popping out of the upper, or the candle bottom here. So we've been popping into the candle body, the lower wick zone. Nice moves here. Right now we got 10 pip move off of this entry. And the higher low, lower high scalper, it's been tough going against this upward movement here. You can see where the 3 balls have been put in. So you had to just take a few pips and be happy with them. Walmall, this hour hasn't triggered, actually. We got close, but no trigger. Sometimes you have to sit on your hands, which is okay. But last hour, there was a trigger both sides. The previous hour, there was a trigger short. Might have gotten your fingers burned, but then, and actually I was in a trade down here if I would have just left it alone. And looking at the ATR zone, we haven't quite got there yet. Once again, you can see price crisscrossing over the daily open, looking at the H1. We broke through yesterday's low and reversed, but yesterday's high is way up here, and we're nowhere near it. Looking at the highs and lows that haven't been crisscrossed, you can see here price came down, put in some lows that didn't get broken, but here's one that did get broken. Price came in and reversed right through it. Once again, coming out of the wick zone. So you can play the wick zone even on the 1 hour candles, depending on how price is moving. I'll even go, sometimes I'll go down to M5 or M15 and just looking to see if I can get some what I call top scraping. So just trading out of these wick zones. In fact, I noticed when price came down here, I was talking with Walmart on the phone, and I said, right here at this 50 level, I saw price was coming out of the wick zone. That was one of the reasons I went long. So that's something also to consider. I need to pause the video for a second. Okay, back to you. As you can see here, price has been closing within this candle's range right here. So the box indicator, actually it's the sideways detector that I modified. You know, it's funny, I think I've mentioned this before. I don't understand why more people that code don't label the lines and show the distance that the price is away from the line. And here with the training wheels, you know, breakout short on the weekly. So it's saying caution long, H4 breakout long, caution short. So you get mixed signals sometimes. And so whichever time frame you're trading, that's what you need to focus on. I'm trying to remember if there was any questions out there. I don't think there were. Actually, I think there was a question that I had answered. I can't remember what it was. But once again, we're talking about problem solving, and it's really important to not dwell on things. That's true in life too, but really in trading, or because if you think of trading almost as a game or as a sport, you just got to play to win. You can't, and if you start thinking about, you know, a missed shot or you know, a dropped ball or something, a missed tackle, You're just gonna you're not gonna be in the moment, and you're not gonna be trading at your best. And even if you're, if you're trading or trading, if you're playing a sport, and you go to your next practice and you're worried about something that happened in the game, you're not going to be, fully engaged in practice. Your mind's going to be elsewhere, so you're not going to, practice as well either. So it's just something that you have to do. Maybe you just, after a bad trade or a bad session, just get up, take five, get a cup of coffee or whatever you like to drink, go for a walk, you know, uh, just walk away. Just clear your head, and then when you're ready, come back. Because hey, you know what? Chances are there's nothing you're going to miss. Market's going to be there, and you'll have your opportunities. You just have to wait. Trading is definitely a waiting game. Yeah, I see all kind of articles lately about talking about patience, and you make more money waiting than you actually do trading. So you just have to pick your spots. Um, Try not to make any mistakes because, as I mentioned, I think a video or two ago, one mistake can ruin, 100 successes. So you want to be really careful to not let that happen. So you just have to stay focused and, not get mad, stick with your plan, um, and trade accordingly. It's one of those things where, as I think I've mentioned and Walmart mentioned, when you're trading, you sit here, you look at the screen, and you got all these indicators and lines. But the thing is, once you put the trade on, none of that matters. Your profit and loss is either it's just going up and down. Some of these things might tell you when to get out or when to get in, but um, it's really going to be up to you to take that signal, see, and take the trade. It's one of these things. I've been playing with the old indicator too here, and in fact, I was on a 1 minute, and I was kind of scalping, and it's really um, it's kind of difficult because you get in that first trade and then it might go against you. As soon as you see a chance to get out, you get out. But if you follow the dots, you can see there's money to be made. And, here's a good example right here. You get in this trade and it runs against you, 2 or 3 pips. And let's just say you're trading $50 a pip, you're down, $150. And it's real hard to sit there and not want to do something. But it's just like, you just got to wait, let the candle close, because here's what happened. It closed below the line. And then here, same thing, it went up. And then what did it do? It closed. And so you had a chance, to pick up a couple of pips, because that's all we're trying to do sometimes. But here's the same thing. You had a nice trigger. You stayed in, you followed the dots, and you picked up a couple of pips. Because, and some people, they're going to poo-poo it because that's not what they trade. They trade higher time frames. They think anything below H1 is noise, blah, blah, blah. Well, it's not noise because the only true chart is the 1 tick chart, and the 1 tick chart makes up the minute chart, and then the minute makes up the 5, and the 5 makes up the 15, and so on. And price is the same on all the time frames. So anyway, fellow traders, I hope I said something that may have helped you along the way here. And when you sit down at your trading platform, come in with a clean mind before each and every trade, because it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is the Rumpled One, over and out. Oh, and a shout out to a couple of new people there on Reddit, and shout out to some of the people on Facebook that joined the group over there.